All right, cucks. I've got yogurt. And I'm reviewing this shit. Okay, we're just gonna dive right in because, you know, that's how we do it.
Themselves a little bit. I guess, Steven, since you're in the top left-hand corner, you are welcome to start off. Say like a little bit of a thing about yourself. Comrade Keck here for the Bud Sports.
I'm a.
All right, so yeah, the introduction to the first topic was, as I've done my brief reading and research, identity politics seems to be a type of.
This?
It's a tripod for a camera.
Alright. Yeah.
I thought it was a vape.
Process or grouping or allying oneself politically with other people that have a shared background, experience, upbringing, or some other designating factor. The term is purported to have risen to prominence in common vocabulary in the 1960s.
Oh, I actually don't like this one. I don't care. It's identity politics. I basically just went along and I just said like I don't give a fuck.
Get their shit through. Why don't we find a way that we can make what they want to do?
Although
that doesn't compromise our.
It's getting quickly back to what Steven said. So you think that, and I think I mostly agree with you. Just let whatever parties in power like do their stuff at the time. But
this, let whatever parties in power do their own thing. That to me sounds fucking super fucked up. I don't know about anybody else. That sounds really, really, really fucked up. You just let the parties in power do whatever they want? No. Because what if you fucking lie about something? What if you do something unconstitutional? Is that like still? Like I'm going to assume. I'm going to use my best judgment to assume that like by let the parties in power do whatever they want, whatever means like within like the Constitution, within like legal things. I'm going to assume that they don't want to go fucking full tyrannical government. Just literally let the fucking parties do whatever they want. I'll assume, but it sounded super fucked up. I never got onto it. But it was like, how do you, what? You gotta have some sort of like debate within your own fucking, like that's moving a two-party system into two-party system just for the election, and then it's just whoever wins just runs for 4 years. Like no other government works that way until you go into tyranny mode. Like what the fuck? It was just really rough to me, and I'm pretty sure I never got. Holy fuck! I never got to like describing it or talking about it.
if we kind of go that route, do you worry that it would just go seesaw back and forth all the time, kind of like it currently has, where like one administration comes in, the next administration repeals it, the next one...
Yeah, so like the thing was like it was just seesaw back and forth with the whole like with the but that's not even the worst part. Like that, it would be like extremely aggressive seesawing. It would be like the Republicans would put in like a fucking travel ban, and then like that would sit for 4 fucking years, and then the Democrats would come in and like lift that, and then like put down some fucking super heavy fucking what's something that I fucking disagree with heavily on what the left wing would do. Because I wouldn't consider going to war like what fucking what Obama did and stuff like that, like dropping millions more bombs. I would consider that like super heavy left wing. Oh, like I don't know, like you come in here and fucking take away the means of production or whatever. I don't know, it's like super fucking far left, but you get what I'm saying. Or they come in and they fucking nationalize some media outlets, and it's like, okay, whoa, let me move it back. Even though there's like nobody on the left currently advocating that, but you know what I'm saying.
What they did, and then so on and so forth, and that ends up wasting a lot of capital at the time. And also, Cynthia, I haven't let you chime in on this pretty soon, so we'll let you jump in also.
Well, it absolutely could happen. I mean, that's certainly a lot of what we've been doing now. But when I say that, I sort of mean that there's got to be compromise, though. But each side has to understand that they have votes. They have the ability to, push their platform forward. So they can still meet and they can talk and they can work on ways that they can compromise. But rather than it constantly be obstruct and resist, and let's do whatever we can, make sure they can't get their shit through. Why don't we find a way that we can make what they want to do work that doesn't compromise our values, that doesn't compromise their values, and
Yeah, but that's like not how it works. Hi. When the Republicans are literally advocating for like removing your fucking health care, there's no middle ground. There's just give the country health care. When the entirety of the United States, like 75% of people want universal health care. Even like 50% or like 40% of Republicans want it. Like you got Donald Trump up here like taking it, like ripping apart Obamacare, and then just completely forgetting the guys to put his own fucking system in because people want that. Is like you can't go halfway on that.
that's basically what we're doing here. We're discussing ideas, not necessarily reality.
Yep, I'll have to follow up to that. Cynthia, what would you like to add in?
Well, just on the basis of parties, I think that the two-party system is ridiculously strong in that.
Sure, I don't care anymore. But yeah, like it just sounded super fucking. It was like really weirdly tyrannical. I don't think I got to it. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
You have with the Democratic Party is that they've been running on like a platform of gradualism and like handshaking with Republicans for the past like I don't even know 20, 30 years, and it's not working at all. I think that's what like
Yeah, sure. You just watch
And
that.
the United States they spent $3.5 trillion on healthcare in 2017, $10,739 per person, more than any other country. They have 4% of the world's population and spend 40% of the world's money on
Did I do
healthcare
good here?
related And there were kind of like some other damning statistics. The U.S. currently spends upwards of $420 million per hour on healthcare. So there is like a healthcare something going on, and I think we will be talking about that later.
Yeah,
Sounds like we
later.
have the time
Yeah,
to
we'll
get
do
down to.
Oh.
Hold a message. I'm just gonna laugh. I didn't see what it was.
But yeah, like I was trying to say, I don't think we like really need to do like a sort of like middle with Republicans. Like obviously to get any sort of like any
Yeah.
like Republicans like absolutely despise this, and I don't think there's any middle ground. I mean, you like dispute that or?
Yeah.
So what exactly are you disputing?
What's Trump saying that we'll use guns if they use rocks?
I don't necessarily know that
I
we
think
should
you're
reference
having
what
a
the
distinction
president
between
is
legal
speaking
asylum
about.
seekers and people seeking to enter the country
The
illegally.
entirety of the caravan are asylum seekers.
Yeah, you're
You know how
completely
many
legal
caravans
immigration with
across
asylum
the border?
seekers, but
Yeah, all of them are refugees.
So where are we gonna house them? You're talking.
There are specific requirements for
Yeah,
seeking
Okay, so
asylum.
before we do get onto that like final topic, I guess like to wrap up anything that we had like about identity politics or like the ability for like the left and the right to kind of like work together. Does anybody see like
I'm pretty sure I did fine here.
Something like that was 2012, was it? I forgot when it was. But there was a split with the Republicans and I think it was House or Senate. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. There's a divided Congress. And that's what I'm saying is you know, when you mention middle grounds, I think there's middle grounds than a lot more people think. I think it's not really just one way or the highway. And I agree that there are some things that are human rights, but you could still have middle ground on those human rights or those issues. I think there's always a middle ground to be had. Otherwise, we wouldn't have what we have in our system.
I think I had a question.
I'm just
I'm
like,
gonna let you
for-
jump in, Penguin, real quick. I might add the basic human right conversation.
I like the mouse over my face.
Kind of sounds like
Ah!
since you talked about it, like it's all fun with that. So Penguin, if you want to hop in, then myself.
Yeah, I was just
Steven,
gonna
go ahead.
I was just gonna poke Doug there for the like, if you're saying that there can be like bipartisanship on human rights, then like what do you define as human rights? Because to me, if it's a human right, you get it. There's no
Well, no,
like,
That's something I was
human
hoping
rights,
Seth would
you
do
get it.
since he brought up human rights originally was what do you define as our basic human rights?
Yeah, if we want to have this little conversation and if everybody's okay with the curveball, I have no problem
that's fine.
doing this
That's
discussion if Sint wants to lead off or if Doghouse wants to go.
I was gonna say I'll actually let Seth answer because I do want to be fair. Because I did say that you know there is middle ground to be had on human rights, and that was probably something I shouldn't have said. You know I think what she said is exactly right. I think human rights are I think it was the World Health Organization determined what are certain human rights, and basic human rights. What I meant more along the lines of was like in particular policies like
Except for the fact that like United Nations has kind of agreed that like healthcare should be a human right. Just the United States just says like no thank you. Anyways, yeah, I got him on that. It's really good.
I think we've already like come together as a people and decided that like it is the government's role to like provide a certain level of like living, right? Like this is why we have like SNAP benefits. This is why we have like Medicaid and programs like this, right?
I wasn't at that meeting.
More anecdote, okay.
It's me, sir.
Should be a basic human right. It seems like there's maybe about half and half. Does anybody think there's anything else that should be added into what we currently have as basic human rights, or is it just you just wish people?
Oh, this is dumb. I was the only one who talked about stuff. It was like water and fucking healthcare.
And that requires some other type of schooling or apprenticeship or whatever. So is a part of his platform giving free education to trade schools and apprenticeships and all of this also? Because I don't see just giving something free to a small percentage of the population as being like a very good move for the country as a whole.
I don't think that college is a necessity. One, and the second thing.
Oh, he like freaks out over here.
Anybody else to reach that level of like being able to climb up the economic ladder, right? I think we use education as like sort of equalizer in that sort of sense.
I'm gonna play a question here. Is there any?
I think I did well here too. I don't care.
Or anything like that. I'm just saying, as a group, as a population, I think we can do better. We can provide everybody with a standard of living that is better. And I think part of that includes higher education. I don't know why you and Doghouse think that like that's so offensive. Like
I don't take offense to it. I don't take offense to it at all. Like I think you're coming from a good place and wanting to provide free education. I don't have a problem with it by default. Like I think it's a great idea. Sure, let's send everyone to college. But I don't think it's that simple or that easy. I don't think it's the cure-all to society's ailments from an economic standpoint or financial standpoint for all of us. That all of a sudden we're all going to be good to go if we all just spend 4 more years and essentially an extension of high school. I know plenty of stupid people that come out of college. If it increases your value, then why doesn't having a diploma no longer hold the same value that it did, say, 20 years ago?
Probably because the amount of people that we have getting diplomas has gone up a lot.
So if that continues, then what's going to happen?
Well,
Yeah,
then
you're right.
so right now,
That's
I
why I
give you 50
outlined
grand for
before
your
that I
job for
hope
having a
every piece
college
of paper
diploma.
that value.
okay, and you bring in a school choice voucher program. Sure, now you have the choice to go to that better school, but how the fuck you can get there? It's farther away.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Right,
That's the actual
you realize that is a problem for like people that are already impoverished, like people that are in single family like households where like maybe their mother doesn't have the time, like actually maybe drive like 20 minutes out to like the other school.
That was fine too.
That impacts poor people more than rich people. You realize that, right?
I didn't get what you said. The other.
You realize that affects poor people more than it does like rich people, right?
Well, it seems that's what everything does. I don't know how you're ever going to get to the point that there will ever be
By
not
making
poor
it more
people and not
accessible.
well-off people. How are you
So
going to make it
you
more accessible?
Yeah, no, I answered that. Basically, how do you make it more accessible? Well, you can start by nationalizing your schooling system, making it so that all funds come from like one pool of funding, not through property taxes.
Well, Brento and Jet saying he'd pop in.
Yeah, I do know Brento, so I can bring him in if he.
Oh,
I'll work on
guys,
that
so I'm
in
gonna have to leave. So
Hey, man, no,
It was a good conversation.
It was good.
I
I'm sorry.
appreciate
Hey,
it.
look.
But I think as we go more into a time where there are so many citable articles and like just scholarly articles available on even Google, like I think that just generally having the power of the internet is just puts you miles ahead of anyone who can't get on it. In terms of if you.
Oh yeah, another thing about human rights is like, should the internet be given to human right because it's becoming so essential to like you as a productive member of society, right? So if you don't have access to internet, you're like missing out on access to like endless information, blah blah blah. You could just you can just collect. You can literally like learn about a new subject basically just for free on the internet or like through a small cost. But if you don't have access to the internet in the first place, then you're fucked. Oh, I really felt like I just stuck my fucking beard in my fucking yogurt. But I didn't.
aren't normally being like filled.
Yeah, like who's gonna clean out toilets? What was her name? Osborne said that made an ass
Yeah,
of himself.
that was a big yikes. But
Oh, sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, my hot take would be to not build a border wall, to help.
Yeah, like, and I just said like we should just help Mexico and then hopefully have a border that's like similar to the border between United States and Canada.
But the thing is, why don't just do that? It's better because you can't in the States.
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot of
it doesn't
against.
function within a capitalist society. Like,
Well, it could kind of, but there's too many like things
I
against
don't think
it.
it functions within like the world. I don't think it.
We'll work on
Like,
like
grow with.
Oh, we're talking about socialism, blah blah blah.
Like it's a great model
Yeah.
if everybody could just agree. But people don't always agree. So
Yeah, you can say the same about anarcho-capitalists though, blah blah blah.
Kind of wanted to know. Or if you can link something, it's up to you.
yeah, so basically, it's characterized by the social ownership of the means of production and the workers' self-management, as well as the political theories and movements associated with them. So basically,
I would suppose like an infrared camera system or a drone response system.
It's the wall, blah 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 blah
Perfect, up there.
blah.
Then they would be separated, and the child would go.
I did good on this too. I'm pretty sure I like mentioned that it's like totally fucking. Oh, here we go. This is the moment. This is the moment everything went to fucking Shitsville.
Nice
Do I
shot.
sound and look okay, guys? Because I'm not a streamer. I don't have any natural.
Everything looks perfect.
Yeah,
you're
you're
like
good.
swimmer.
Yeah. So Ben LC
Why am I?
can add Ramsey in here, or we
Oh, I went and got water. That's why. Okay. I was like, why the fuck?
I'll chat.
Okay, we almost have him. Ramsey, there you go. Added.
Have more debt than GDP. It should change.
Okay, I missed a bunch of shit about him talking about economics, so I don't know.
Rental box goes down here.
Sick memes.
Nice
Do I
shot.
sound and look okay, guys? Because I'm not a streamer. I don't have any natural.
Everything looks perfect.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like
good.
swimmer.
Yeah, so Ben, LC, we are going to finish up this conversation, and then we are going to move on to the healthcare system and the pharmaceutical system, and I think that's probably where we're going to end it, unless people want to sit here the whole night. I'll literally sit here the whole night. So, yeah, Ramsey, do you
I
have
just
anything,
got here, so I'm down.
Ramsey, do you have anything that you wanted to add in on the current state of unfunded liabilities or GDP versus debt levels and anything like that?
Yeah, so we're sitting at about 106% debt to GDP. So what that means is we have more debt than GDP. It should change within the next year. It should dip slightly lower.
Hold on.
102%.
I gotta. Hold on. Okay, I gotta Google this one too. Countries. Wow. Because like after he talks about this, is fucking. Yeah, like oh my god. Like yeah, okay. Because I want to just like completely ignore everything he says about fucking economics because it really just hurts my brain. Okay, so countries with a debt to GDP ratio that's like above, like they have more debt to GDP. I think it's like the whole thing, right? That's the whole stat. Okay. So Japan. Now Japan is crumbling for other reasons, not because they have a higher debt to GDP ratio. They're crumbling because they don't like to take. They want to take in immigrations. They're super fucking xenophobic. I'm pretty sure is the word for it. I don't know why my brain's just not clicking with that one, but I think that's it. And whatnot. Like that country's not exactly like falling apart because of GDP things. It's mostly other reasons. Then you got Greece, sure. Sudan, sure. Venezuela, sure. Lebanon, sure. Well, Lebanon's been dealing with war. Venezuela's been dealing with Venezuela, plus tariffs, stuff like that. Greece is kind of just fucked up because they don't have any kind of exports. So, yeah. And Sudan is, I don't know. Italy has a higher GDP to debt ratio, and they are not, I'm pretty sure as far as I'm concerned, Italy's not falling into the ground. Pretty sure Italy's a pretty nice place to live and stuff like that and deal with. But if not, then okay. A bunch of other countries that are like not westernized, I don't think. Then there's Portugal. I'm not sure how Portugal's doing. Then there's the United States, which 109%. Okay. France is up there at 96%. So wait, what? What did he say?
As long as the economy keeps it
But I like 6 now.
natural.
Everything looks perfect.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like
good.
swimmer.
Most people want to sit here the whole night. I'll literally sit here the whole night. So, yeah, Ramsey, do you
I
have
just
anything,
got here, so I'm down.
Ramsey, do you have anything that you wanted to add in on the current state of unfunded liabilities or GDP versus debt levels and anything like that?
Yeah, so we're sitting at about 106%.
Okay,
GDP.
so he
what
said-
that means is we have more debt than GDP. It should change within the next year. It should dip slightly lower, maybe 102%, as long as the economy keeps its current trajectory. But we
So is 100% even? Is that like you have 100% of your GDP and your So 100% even. France is below. I like this. France is below. Like, I like that any country above it. I don't know. It's super weird. Like, I don't understand this. Like, we have one. United Kingdom has one. Like, we have the GDP to debt ratio, like, below 100%. And, like, Canada's actually got one pretty below 100%. But, like, with a vastly smaller population. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, if that's a reason your country's failing, and like, oh, this is why we can't afford anything. Okay, well, why is it that way when other countries who have universal healthcare, have all these stuff, also have it? And I'm pretty sure the answer always just comes back to, oh, the military.
We definitely have to address our spending problems. So,
You mean yearly debt, right?
yeah, what the government spends more than what we can take in as a whole. So
Gotcha.
it's not a per budgetary thing. So it's not an annual comparison. The only annual aspect of it is like what the country produces in terms of real goods.
So I just brought up, like, I brought up, like, later, like, I'm pretty sure I'll bring it later. I'll go over it, I guess. Like, basically just, like leveraging your debts and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, we owe China a billion trillion, well, United States owes China billions of dollars, because, like, there's no way China will ever tariff the United States, because then they'll just go, oh, we're not going to import anymore. Good luck with that one.
Per year, and it's reflective against all of our outstanding declared debt. Now, Turing talked about unfunded liabilities. That's way more serious, because that has a propensity to get away from us quicker.
I don't know what those are.
So an unfunded liability means you have committed to paying for something, but you have no payment structure to address it. And I'll give you an example. Take a home where you don't have to pay your mortgage for a full year. Do you technically own the home?
I mean,
Because you live in it?
do I have the deed or something like that?
Depends on what you do.
If you don't have to pay your mortgage for a year, okay, well, are you starting with zero? Like, you haven't paid any money into the mortgage? Have you paid some money into the mortgage? Is there an agreement that you will pay the mortgage off? I think that's the point. Like, I don't know.
They can always be repossessed, but do I have control of the house?
Right, yeah, so like an unfunded liability is going to take into consideration things like what you agreed to pay for later, what the anticipated and real growth of that asset or liability is later, right? Because, for example, like if you take United Kingdom and Canada and you compare it to the United States, they write off physical government buildings as assets. The United States doesn't do that. If the United States did that, our debt to GDP ratio would be considerably lower. We have massive amounts of government real estate in the United States. Like take the Department of Defense building, right? The DoD.
Okay, so then is debt to GDP a problem? This is why I got really fucking confused. I didn't talk for this entire fucking thing because I'm really confused. Because I'm not great on economics. But he just said that your debt to GDP is high, which it is. It's at, like, what is it, 106%, 109%? 109.45%. But if you, like, included all of your government buildings as assets, then it would, like, drastically change. It's like, okay, so then it's not a problem. It would be, like, way lower if you included your government buildings as assets, which you probably should do that. Like, what? So is it a problem or not?
If we could write that off as an asset, say like Canada or the United Kingdom does, our debt to GDP outlook would be a lot more favorable. It still doesn't mean it's not a problem though. If you compare Canada to the United States, and folks that don't know, I'm also from Canada originally. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you think it's more honest to consider it part of the debt since it's something we're actually paying for?
So I've kind of weighed back and forth over the years on this. What the West
Instead of just writing it off, you know.
What the West accepts for accountability and accounting practices is, I think it's dishonest. But I think because it's within your country and it's a produced good, I think you should. So that's kind of a fence answer, and I normally don't give fence answers, but it's really tricky because it means we'd have to change our whole look on how we declare assets and debts in this country, and that could shock a lot of people. It would actually negatively affect banks, and so for bankers, they would immediately lobby against it.
Oh, why is that? Because all of their assets are based in leveraged debt?
No, is that well? It's so, but because of some of the debt financing in the country is done by the banks, right? So the government all of a sudden can write off Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae infrastructure.
Oh yeah, well
it's JP Morgan Chase underwriting some of that loan. You know,
that's why, that's why it's more honest.
Or mind ways. Do either of you guys have anything to add in here as we're going down this topic?
No, I don't think I disagree with Bronzy necessarily per se, which is maybe a unique phenomenon. But
I feel like I talked so much in this fucking thing because, like, every time, like, Turing, like, asks people to, like,
before we start sweating, but
chime in, it's never me.
I don't think we did. I think we needed to act in 2002, 2003. You know, kind of the end of the Gingrich Congress and the Clinton presidency budgets. You know, when they started rolling into the Bush presidency, and I can't remember who was immediate Speaker of the House then, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm getting at, right? That is the point where we needed to start looking at it. And so if that's 2003, so that's 16 years. We're 16 years behind the game.
Penguin, what are you thinking?
Well, I just had a question that came in a little late. Were you talking about before? Because I'm just wondering, what the hell was it specifically with the whole, like, exports and imports and the debt and whatnot? Were you? Because I'm just wondering, is there countries out there? I'm sure there are many that they import way more than they can export in goods. So
the United States would be one of them.
Yeah, right. Like those countries, even ones that basically produce nothing. They basically produce nothing, have to import all their stuff. They're still like functional countries. I think Japan is one of those as well. Like they don't really have anywhere near a strong economy because they have almost no natural resources.
Japan has one of the highest, I think, debt to GDP ratios actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the United States is different in that sense that we do have like a lot of natural resources here.
Yeah,
in America.
I was gonna say, like, it's not like Japan's crumbling because of their economy. They're crumbling because they're committing suicide all the time.
So just so we look at kind of what the numbers are like realistically around the globe, because it's different on a per country need, right? Like Israel and Japan would be radically different than Canada and the United States, right?
Yep.
But only about
Why Israel and Japan? You hear it, and you're like, what? I brought up Japan, so that makes sense. Japan is fine. I don't care about Japan, but why Israel? What the fuck? What does Israel have to do with this? What the fuck does Israel have to do with this? I'm so confused. What the fuck? What does Israel have to do with this? I'm really, really confused.
60 to 200 nations in the world have a trade surplus. So that means 140 nations run a trade deficit.
Yep.
So we kind of have to like declare what our objectives are to see if it makes sense. Like if you take Iceland, Iceland is a wonderful recovery example. 2008 they nearly collapsed into nothing, right?
Yep.
And for the next 2 to 3 years they were struggling, but now they've grown double than their highest point before. You know, their highest point in their economy used to be $12 billion, now they're $23 billion. It's tiny, but there's only 300,000 people or so, 350,000 maybe. You know,
Really?
if you wanna look at the
Yeah,
numbers.
no,
It's very
yeah, that's correct. Fun fact for everybody: when Iceland beat the United Kingdom in a football match, there was approximately 10% of the Icelandic nation that attended the match. There were 30 to 32,000 people that went to the match live, and it comprised about 1/10 of the entire Icelandic population. And also, the United Kingdom lost that match.
yeah, that was epic. I remember like, that shocked the world.
Yeah, it was like, and their chant was awesome too.
Oh,
I'm a soccer guy, so to throw that
yeah,
in for me.
I love football too. So, anyways, that's what we were talking about. So, Penguin, I believe I cut you off. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's kind of recently in the chat. Like somebody was saying like Japan's been economically stagnant for 20 years, but I think that's more because they refuse to take in immigrants. Like their population is nosediving at this point, right?
Well, sex is a taboo
Yeah.
in Japan, though. That's different.
They do have a
No,
declining population.
what I'm saying is like like a lot of this economic stuff.
Sex is taboo in Japan. Yeah, that's why they need to take in immigrants. What? What? That's what I'm so confused. Well, sex is taboo in Japan. Yeah, so take in immigrants. And they won't do that because they're extremely xenophobic.
Doesn't seem like it's to do with their debt, it's just because of other factors like
Being so xenophobic and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Japan having a stunted economic growth for the 20 years probably has more to do with them not accepting immigrants and having a declining growth rate than.
I think that actually has the potential to be true. I think you hit on something that's pretty accurate for Japan. I would counter to say that the reason why I just worry about the debt is I do think that there's certain social programs that we should implement, and I think that they're going to cost money. I'm just worried that because of mismanagement, kind of Killer Stevens up in the top right, also known as Ramsey, that we just might be running out of the actual currency to do it with. That's all that I'm worried
Yeah,
about.
I mean, you can always take a, what was it? Yeah, didn't Bernie Sanders say that they could have funded free college tuition for like X amount of years if they just used the money from the military budget increase to pay for it? Because like I think when Trump first came in office, he increased the military budget by I don't want to say trillion because that's high, so I'll just say billion.
It wasn't. I don't remember where it went from, but I think it's apparently around 600 billion.
Yeah, but whatever Trump increased it by could have funded.
But those are year-over-year numbers, so Bernie's not honest when he says that.
What do you a year-over-year number? What do you fucking mean? I'm so fucking confused. Hold on.
I'm not attacking Bernie for it. I
He
know
said it could fuel it, like so he increased it by X amount of dollars for that year, like the budget increased over years. So like let's say it was $40 billion.
Substance changes said it, so it was raised by $100 billion, and then I think Bernie Sanders said that using that $100 billion, you could have funded X years of the free college program by using that money.
No, you guys are. Go ahead, sorry.
I actually think that I mean, does anybody in here think that the United States does not spend a little bit too much on military?
I would agree that we do.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We
Yeah, I
probably
think we
spend
do.
too much.
But I think we're also kind of like the military for a large portion of the world, and against a large portion of the world.
Well, I wrote in the
That's
chat
powerful.
earlier, like discretionary spending is 50%. That's usually what most people target, even though they think the bigger value in the spending is the mandatory spending. You can't touch mandatory spending.
Right.
So in the discretionary aspect, if it's 50%, any
Okay,
increase
well, what is the mandatory spending? What the fuck is mandatory that the United States... hold on, there's a fucking... There's a spoon in my fucking forearm. Mandatory spending. The United States federal budget is divided into 3 categories: mandatory spending, discretionary spending, and interest on debt, also known as entitlement spending. In the U.S. Fiscal policy, mandatory spending is government spending on certain programs that are mandatory by law. Yes, but what the fuck does that have to do with the military? How much of the military is mandatory spending? Is this it right here? Social Security takes up 38% of mandatory spending. What's this one? Major healthcare programs takes up 29%. Okay. Veterans benefit is 4%. Federal civil, so none of this is nothing in the mandatory budget is military. If this chart, I'll bring this over. If this chart has anything to say, nothing of this. I don't know how. And then other is 13%. So that's because it's in other. I don't look for deeper stuff because that's just off the wiki page, right? What's entitlement programs? Let's see. Okay. Let's go. Let's find out what the mandatory. Okay, so that's okay. So mandatory spending. USA. Let's see if we can find this. Oh, okay. Current federal mandatory spending. Current federal mandatory spending, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, other mandatory programs. welfare, unemployment, how mandatory spending affects the U.S. economy, why it keeps growing, mandatory budget dilemma, choices. So, okay, so I'm really confused as to what, like, expenditure budget. Okay, the federal budget in 2017. Mandatory spending. So this is like a fucking, here's another poster. I'm just gonna put this up on screen. Mandatory spending, 13% of the GDP, 2.5 trillion. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, other non-defense. What the fuck is that? Defense. Okay, so 3% of it is in defense. So let's just assume that that's I don't know what non-defense. What the fuck is non-defense actually? Is that just non-defense programs? What the fuck is this? Non-defense. What the fuck is non-defense? Definite not related to the use of nation's military defense. Okay, so okay, never mind. So defense. 3% of the GDP is used on military. That's mandatory. So 3%. Revenues. Discretionary spending. Oh, no, it is discretionary. Yeah, what the fuck? It is discretionary. So the entire defense budget is discretionary. So I don't know what he means by mandatory. Let me just put this in a Google Keep. Wow, I completely spelled that wrong. The fuck is that? Oh, hey, what's up, buddy? So excuse my sarcasm. How's it going? Sorry if I just like missed that. I'm just Googling a million things. Oh, I also closed my Twitch. Why the fuck did I do that? So I'm making a note. I must make a note. If everything would load. Fuck me. Oh my god. My nose, dude. Okay, there we fucking go. I got there. Okay. I would call it military budget. USA. So, hold on, let's see if you said anything. I don't want to miss out on you. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. Wait, what? Oh, I have two. Oh, that's why I'm a fucking dumb idiot. Oh no, I'm not a dumb idiot. What? Do I have two of these open? I don't know what's going on anymore. So I have this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm an idiot. All right. Okay. Let's put these on the other one. That's what I meant to do. Alright, where's the other one? This one. Okay, hold on. This. And this. There we go. Whew, fuck me. Boomer hours down here. Fuck. I'm not even like close to a boomer, dude. As far away from a boomer as humanly possible, I think. Alright. Oh, that's fixed. Fuck. What's going on, actually? Okay. What the fuck is it? Okay, so that's... Oh, and then the other ones... Yeah, okay. I have like 3 tabs open. That's why I'm so fucking confused. Okay, fuck. Alright. So, what the fuck? Oh. Mandatory and discretionary spending. Like, I'm really confused. Like, what is, like this? Like, that's just the fucking full link onto something that's not. Oh, did I? Is that different? Yeah, that's the image. That's like the whole thing. Copy. Pasta. It's like the same link. So that's like good enough. I could probably find the rest somewhere else. I don't know. Okay, so then debt to GDP. So debt to GDP, and then that's just like the countries with more debt to GDP. Okay. So I got all that. So what the fuck was we were talking about here again?
Exist in there. So if he said, so do you guys remember in 2013 we had the sequestration, or the sequestering of the budget, right? So they had a review in 2017 and they pegged out 10 years of what the cost increases were. Well, 2017, who's your president? It's Trump, right? When they peg the cost over 10 years, you know, that's really what the cost focus is. It's not, I did 100 billion this year for an automatic 25% increase 1 year kind of thing. It's always pegged out over time frame.
Didn't the budget used to be projected to come like reaping rewards within a couple of years, and now when a budget is put out, they say it's going to be like 11 years until we get money back from the way we have this balance? So aren't they trying to project like macroeconomics on like a scale that literally like the best banks in the world don't try to project on?
Yeah, I think that's really, they always want like a 10-year plan. Like that's what I always hear. Is like,
Yeah, see, it's over 50%, like I said, right? That's
Actually,
discretionary spending.
well, there's one from 2017 versus 2018 proposed Trump budget, and the proposed one is actually up at 68%.
Well,
So-
but that's discretionary. It's not mandatory. You have to include mandatory for the full picture. Those numbers are not entirely honest. They've taken aspects of mandatory spending requirements and they've thrown it in the same chart. When you compare the two, it draws it out. Even if you're entirely against military spending, you can at least see how.
Oh yeah. So okay. So that's why I was like,
you have to include that.
Proposed Trump budget, and the proposed one is actually up at 68%.
Well,
So-
but that's discretionary. It's not mandatory. You have to include mandatory for the full picture. Those numbers are not entirely honest. They've taken aspects of mandatory spending requirements and they've thrown it in the same chart. When you compare the two, it draws it out. Even if you're entirely against military spending, you can at least see how it's broken up.
right, but
okay, but this chart tells us that defense budget is 3.1%. And it's in the discretionary category. So the entire U.S. military budget is considered discretionary by the federal budget in 2017, mandatory spending, and then discretionary. And then defense is 3.1%. Sorry, yes. So a budget of $750 billion for the U.S. Armed Forces next year. Holy fuck. That was posted 6 hours ago. What the fuck is this? New arms race, China. Oh god. According to a new report released in Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, world military expenditure rose to 1.82 trillion 2018 making. Okay, the U.S., China are leading the way. Blah blah blah. For Americans' military, 4.6% growth on 2017 represents the first increase in spending since 2010. The expenditure totaled $650 billion, which I think lines up with the graph, does it not? No, 590 billion. So it's about 100 billion lower, which he raised it in 2016, right? To that? Anyways, it's pretty fucking close. So the president has proposed a budget of... Okay, so I'm just gonna link this. Regardless, like, this graph is showing that. So let's say the total budget is like this graph might not line up exactly with that. Let's say the total budget right now is 690 billion, and then the discretionary spending is 509 billion. Then 590 billion. Then like that's $100 billion of mandatory spending. Oh my god, I'm yelling so much right now. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, that's like a new. That's like a thing. Okay. Where's my shit? I'm confused. What? Oh, right here. Okay, let's move into the next thing.
What do you think
Sure, I'll
justifies
do
the
like
increase in?
four.
What do you think justifies the increase in military spending?
May I answer? May I answer?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah.
The cynic in me would say protecting the currency and making sure that we are strong enough in order to continue kind of like the current economic trend that we're on.
Isn't that already kind of the case though? Like several times over, like the amount of like the budget we spend on military.
Yeah, so I think that's answer properly.
Or whatever, but like a lot of the trouble comes. Yeah, I know, right?
Help their
Yeah,
democracy.
the problem is that every.
I can agree, but it's like the problem is that what happened with Afghanistan, right? You just
Yeah, I answered that pretty well. Basically, like the point of the military is it's well, it's supposed to protect our money, but literally you're just fucking walking into countries and making everything worse for yourself.
Some trials happen before actually one does succeed. So it was
Right, yeah.
when we move into the healthcare topic, I did want to talk a little bit about is the U.S. actually kind of subsidizing some of the research and development for different pharmaceutical drugs, and kind of actually might even say being taken advantage of by some other countries in the world with the cheap.
Pretty sure I answered this properly.
Military will never be a problem for us until we have to go to war and we realize we don't have something. Social
Okay, I don't understand this either. Like, military will never be a problem until we have to go to war and we don't have anything. What do you mean don't have, like, you know, like, people exist, right? Like, that's what takes up our army. It doesn't matter how many tanks we have if there's no fucking people in the military. So if you just, like, the United States doesn't have a huge standing army of people. It's pretty small, like in terms of people-wise. And anytime you get into war, you just ask your population, like, hey, let's, like, train and stuff and, like, you know, go to war like they did in fucking World War II. You know what the draft was? Yeah. The German military is, like, way more well trained than the United States military in a sense. Like, basically just that Germany's been, well, no, I guess because they reduced their military for so long. So no, but yeah, you bring up a standing army from your population. Like, what the fuck? If a war is like a direct threat to your country, most of your citizens will rise up and help defend it. Like, what do you fucking mean?
Nobody's wanted to address it for 80 years. Social Security and Medicare. I'm going to state this before somebody or anybody can misquote me or misrepresent my bills. I always believe in a two-tier system for health. The genuinely poor, they cannot afford something. They need something. But for the people who want to pay, they shouldn't tie up any aspect of the system. They should be able to go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was gonna ask you, would you then be in favor of like having a single payer system that provides everybody with like a basic quality?
Oh, they just argue back and forth between.
Everybody pays into it, right? And then there's no competition outside of it.
And let me explain the. Sorry, I'll just explain the single payer to Brento in terms of at least how Canada works. Basically, we all pay taxes into a system of insurance, and then the Canadian government goes to drug companies and doctors essentially and says, this is what this is going to cost. If you say no, well, you're missing out on 35 million people.
Right.
That's essentially the basic single payer healthcare.
And the United States, like with Medicare, for instance, isn't even allowed to negotiate pharmaceutical prices like with these drug companies, which is like definitely a problem as well. But I guess that's like a tangential issue.
No, but it's fair because drug prices are the single largest cost in health.
Yeah, yeah.
When you bring it up, and
we spend more on pharmaceuticals than any other nation.
And we also spend a whole lot on research that no other nation really spends.
Okay, so it sounds like we are moving into a little bit of health topic. I just linked something to westhealth.org. So this was I referenced this before. This is the conference that I went to, but
so towards it. And the reason not single payer, because when you have true single payer, there's only two countries in the world where the private tier is completely outlawed, and that is Canada and North Korea. And that's not a good comparison because, well, North Koreans are starving and Canadians deserve better. But there are a majority of the countries, like often people compare like Switzerland, United Kingdom, and France. They should not clog.
Where do you cut it? That's the thing. Where do you cut it?
Well, I think a person making $75,000 should.
Let's see. How the fuck? Okay, so this is where it gets sticky. UK. Okay, so what? Private medicine. Okay, private medicine where patients or their insurers pay for treatment in the UK in a niche market. Some is provided by NHS hospitals. Private providers also contract with the NHS, especially in England, to provide treatment to NHS patients, particularly in mental health and planned surgeries. So there's basically no private tier in the UK. The United States is okay. That's not in the UK, fucker. Two-tier healthcare. Healthcare in England. Okay, here we go. Fucking Jesus. Healthcare in England has many. Okay, national service funding and management, patient experience. Where's okay? Private sector medical care. England has a private sector, a private healthcare sector. Private health care, sometimes funded by employers through medical insurance as part of the benefits package of the employees through mostly larger companies that do. Insurers also market policies directly to the public. To the public. Wait, okay. Most private care is for the specialist referrals, with most people retaining their NHSGP as point of first contact. The private sector now does some subcontracting work for the NHS. Thus, an NHS patient can be treated in the private sector as an NHS patient if the health service has subcontracted work to the hospital. Okay, some private hospitals are business enterprises and some are non-profit making trusts. Some hospital groups provide insurance plans, e.g. blah 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 blah, e.g. whatever, and some insurance companies have deals with particular private hospital groups. Some private sector patients can be treated in NHS hospitals, in which case the patient or of his or insurance company is billed. The Care Quality Commission, after inspecting more than 200 private sector hospitals, warned that informality in the process meant that systematic and robust safety procedures were not in place. Hospitals. The Care Quality Commission, after inspecting more than 200 private sector hospitals, warned in April 2018 that informality in processes meant that systematic and robust safety procedures were not in place. Hospitals consultants are generally not employed by the private hospitals where they have admitted rights, and the commission said private companies could be reluctant to challenge them. Safety was viewed as the responsibility of the individual clinicians rather than a corporate responsibility supported by formal governance process. Furthermore, private hospitals were not set up to anticipate and handle emergency situations. There were only 15 critical care services across 206 hospital sites, so in an emergency they had to rely on the 999 service. Okay, so the private sector in the United Kingdom is extremely weak. That's like completely different from what these Canadian Republicans want or Canadian Conservatives want. They want like full privatization, like you just get private insurance. I'm really confused. And like the way our system works is that all hospitals are privately owned, but we just negotiate with them.
Should have the right to choose to go outside the system, but they should also.
That's kind of like the system I'm talking about. Like,
oh, yeah, but that's single payer then. I mean,
no, it would be. Yeah, it would be.
Literally means that you pay into the government and the government pays for everything.
Yeah, no, but the thing, so then that means Canada's not a single payer system.
They are.
No, I know they are, but you can't get dental through the single payer system.
Of course, but but when
no, but that's what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure, right? Is that what we're talking about?
But the United Kingdom is not like that. France is
well,
not.
They nationalized it.
Right. All these
nationalized their.
There's single payer, there's near single payer, there's mixed, there's.
And I can go on to why the Canadian system, like you say, they deserve better. I can go on to why we've fallen recently, and it's not because we have to go with a mixed system. It's because we have to go and hunker down our single payer system because we've allowed certain provinces. I think it's British Columbia and Alberta have let private companies come in, and it takes away our bargaining power.
No, that's not why. I'm from Canada, man. I was born in Calgary.
Yeah, I'm currently in Canada.
Well, that's cool, man. We don't have we can't afford doctors. We have bed shortages that has nothing to do with private access. In fact, the private access that came in Alberta.
Okay, so this is I don't understand. This is not like a critique of single payer. It's a critique of us not teaching our doctors correctly and us like.
British Columbia and Alberta have let private companies come in, and it takes away our bargaining power.
No, that's not why. I'm from Canada, man. I was born in Calgary.
Yeah, I'm currently in Canada.
Well, that's cool, man. We don't have we can't afford to pay doctors. We have bed shortages that has nothing to do with private access. In fact,
Can't afford to pay doctors. Like, just, I'm afraid this comes back to, oh, well, the United States is paying for them more, so they just come to the United States. Okay, then that doesn't mean that Canada can't afford to pay doctors. Okay, former president of the Canadian Medical Association estimated 75% of Canadian healthcare services are delivered privately, but funded publicly. Okay. Like, they are get paid. Like, I'm really confused by this whole, like, they can't get paid thing. Like, there's things like over 500 Canadian doctors protest raises. Say they're being paid too much, blah, blah. Like, it's just like, I'm really confused. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I'll never explain this, but I can't really find, like, where we can't, literally straight up can't afford our doctors.
The private access that came in Alberta was specifically to meet the bed and doctor shortage, and it has been improving the numbers.
Yes, but it takes it away from the single payer system. That's the point.
Well, the government is not.
Yeah,
Canadians
so hold the government accountable.
Well, how do you hold them accountable for
You vote in somebody who will do it.
Democracy. Yeah.
Democracy.
Who are you going to vote in?
Well, who will do it? It's democracy. Somebody
Like, anyone can make it. Like, I don't understand this. Who are you gonna vote in? Well, somebody could just make a fucking party and, like, walk up out there and be like, hey, I'm gonna fix all your problems. Like, that's what Maxime Bernier is doing, but he wants to go with the full fucking privateer. He wants to completely fucking eliminate the publicly funded system that we have here, but he wants to do it slowly. He wants to introduce a private system into Canada, and he literally said that he would cut the budget. To do that, he would cut the budget from the he would cut the budget from the single payer system and then allow a private sector to come in, which is like.
The Liberals and the Conservatives have all been guilty of the same.
Yeah, so NDP exists, Green Party exists.
No, I gave you the three. So Green Party can't fix it. They don't even have a big enough movement in Canada.
Yes, okay, that's so they have to advocate for
Well,
things.
I'm saying the reason
Excuse me,
divided.
people.
Go ahead.
Would Synth like to say anything?
Yes, it's
Like, I don't understand it. They don't have a big enough movement. Well, they will probably get a big enough movement if they advocate for things that the population agrees with. Whoa! Oh my god.
No, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know a lot about Canadian healthcare.
The defense the government does against Canadian doctors is they do not allow Canadian doctors to look for doctors in other countries, and the Canadian medical training is not valid in most Western countries.
Okay, so here we go. He's talking about, like, the Canadian. So it doesn't allow.
They do not allow Canadian
Long
doctors.
time, and I was just making sure that you had your peace of mind in there also.
Like the biggest defense the government does against Canadian doctors is they do not allow Canadian doctors to look for doctors in other countries, and the Canadian medical training is not valid in most Western countries. So, for example, if Canada produces a doctor, say at the University of
So, doesn't matter if this is true or not true. This isn't a critique of the single payer system. This is a critique of how we're training our doctors and how our qualifications are valid in other nations and whatnot. So, how do you fix this? Well, you go to the UK and you say, hey, what can we teach our doctors to make their doctorate valid in other countries? And then they go like, okay, well, this and this and that and this. And then you're good. And then you, like, open it up so that you could take in doctors from other countries or whatever, like, whatever the fuck he's talking about. Like, this is not a critique of the single payer system. This is a critique of, like, us not allowing other doctors to come in here or blah blah blah, and, like, us not training our doctors so that they're valid. Like, maybe they're not valid in other countries because the Canadian government has said it's not valid, so that the doctors stay in Canada, which I would not be particularly against, right? Because, well, we need doctors here, right? But I mean, if it's, like, coming at a cost to, like, a uber pay grade decrease, then yeah, like, but that's still not a critique of the single payer system. That's just a critique of the Canadian government dealing with how we bring in doctors and deal with our doctors.
Toronto, they study medicine at the University of Toronto. Is what I'm saying. They cannot immediately translate their degree into the United Kingdom or the United States. They have to restudy everything. That's the government's fault.
That's not a
Is that a
criticism.
criticism? Exactly.
Like, that's not a criticism of single payer. It's a criticism of how we deal with our schooling for doctors. It's just make it. You ask
No,
me that
this
thing,
is
how do we make
entirely a criticism of single payer. The reason the doctors would be looking, hold on a second. The reason the doctors would be looking to go to the United States or to the United Kingdom or to Switzerland or wherever is because they can't make money in Canada.
Yeah, but okay, the United Kingdom system is
They can't make money in Canada, but they do make money in Canada, so I don't know where that's coming from. And it's just so strange. Like, I don't understand. Like, so, like, they have a national system. They have a national system in the United Kingdom, and the private sector takes up, like, a very small portion of stuff that's not even It's just so weird. I don't understand.
It's nationalized.
It's not fully nationalized. They are a mixed
Okay, well,
system.
it's more than what. No, it's,
No, it's not a mixed system. Oh my fucking god. So anything that has a privateer is now a mixed system, by the way. So Canada is a mixed system because dental is private. Even though dental is pretty mandatory, it could lead to some serious problems. Dental is now is private, so therefore it's a mixed system. Like what?
it's nationalized. They have the and.
There's a privateer in the United Kingdom.
There are some critiques of the Canadian like single payer health.
But you keep interjecting. I'm trying to explain why it is the way it is in Canada. Like, if we can't hire doctors in Canada, that is not the fault of anybody else but the government. They said.
Yeah, but it's not a critique of the single payer system. It's a critique of the government not opening it up so that we can hire a bunch of doctors. And like other economic problems with how we're raising money to fund the single payer system. That's not a problem directly with the single payer system. That's like the whole issue with like Republicans is they come in here and go, hey, I know your government's failing at like doing the single payer system properly or whatever, so let's just gut the whole thing. It's like, what?
The wages. Have you ever seen a pay chart in the doctor's office of how much they get per item, per visit, and everything? Have you ever seen it? They're posted on the walls. I don't know if you've ever looked.
I'd like to see one. If you
Like, for
haven't.
example, like if the doctor treats you for a regular visit, like say Mindways had one say, you know, doc, I'm not feeling well, they get $15 for that visit. And if he's
That's like vastly more than minimum wage. Like, I don't fucking understand. How many? Oh, it's in Canada. Fuck. That's shit. How many? Oh, I can't find anything on how. Okay. It's like really fucking annoying that I can't find like anything going on. fuck me. Go to the goddamn thing I was just reading. Oh my god, I can't I just want to know how fucking... Okay. Okay, how Ontario doctors... Let's just go with Ontario, because it's different everywhere. Oh my god. Okay, Ontario's embroiled in the storm wage negotiation with its 25,000 plus doctors as the government tries to freeze the $11 billion a year it spends on physicians. But lost in the back and forth is complexity that ways the doctors actually get paid, which explains why provinces attempt to curb their incomes is not so simple. And what the fuck? Fees for service about 95%. Hold on, let me just make sure no one's fucking okay. 95% of Ontario doctors are paid, at least in part, on a fee-for-service basis. They bill the Ontario Health Insurance Plan a standard amount for each service performed. There are more than 8,000 different fee codes contained in the 800-plus page schedule of benefits. Fee codes exist for everything from regular office visits to trauma care and for chronic disease management to after-hours work. The schedule is updated at least every 4 years in a negotiation between the OMA and province in an attempt to reflect the time and complexity associated with specific procedures. Both factors can change because of the advances in technology and practices methods. It is for this reason that Health Minister Deb Matthews earlier this week announced the reduction for 38 procedures and services, a move that angered doctors because it was done unilaterally. The province is trying to move away from fee-for-service, a payment method criticized for emphasizing volume over quality. That's pretty true. Many doctors, particularly solo practice family physicians, allot 15 minutes for a patient visit, during which only one problem can be addressed. Your image does not work well for patients with multiple health problems. Yeah? Primary care group payments, $1.9 billion. The province wants more family doctors to work in primary care groups such as family health teams alongside other health professionals, including nurse practitioners, registered nurses, pharmacists, and social workers. More than two-thirds, or 7,600 family doctors now practice in one of 14 different primary care models, many of them having joined over the last decade with the lure of financial incentives. Payments for groups are set out in arrangements with the province, typically come through a mix of funding arrangements, the main one being capitation. Through capitation, a doctor is paid a fixed amount for each enrolled patient based on age and gender, regardless of the number of times a patient visits. Okay. Payment. So the main one is that like fee-for-service one. Okay, so that's not the only way they're paid, but all right. How and how much doctors are paid? So there's like an article here about Quebec doctors like rejecting their pay grade to their pay raise. Like I'm really confused. Okay, let's see. Let me break down how much Ontario doctors really get paid. Would $32 per visit be fair? Would a flat rate of $16 per patient each month be fair? Too much, too little. So, what the fuck? Okay. Scroll down. Fee-for-service billing. For decades, fee-for-service has been a traditional way that doctors bill OHIP for their services. Under this model, a doctor is paid a specific amount of money for a specific type of visit or procedure. For example, for a minor assessment such as a simple rash or skin spot, this physician would submit a bill to OHIP with the code A001 attached to it. They would then be paid the corresponding $21.7 in return. So it's $21 for like a shitty fucking visit, which is vastly more than $15, but okay. What did he say here? Hold on.
He says, you know what, I think I have the flu. They get $30 for administering the flu shot. Go and say, you know, doc, I'm not feeling well. They get $15 for that visit. And if he
Okay, so doc, I'm not feeling well. For example, mild assessment says as a simple rash or skin spot. Okay, so this is different. So $21. So I don't know what doc, I'm not feeling well is. If that's $15, like that visit will take 3 seconds. If the doctor stitches up someone's cut arm, she submits a bill code to OHIP, which pays $20. In addition to the assessment payment, a full list of services and payments can be found in the doctor's Ministry of Health long-term care. Okay. So there have been some further reductions since Dr. Whately's blogs in 2015, though, and the payments figures in the link above aren't the most current numbers. The Ontario government unilaterally imposes cuts to physician payments a few years back. So, for instance, instead of being paid $33.70 for a typical visit, code A007 for an intermediate assessment, a family doctor is now paid $32. Wow, like a buck decrease. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. So like I'm really confused. Like if they are being paid too little, then like again, it's not like a critique on the single payer system. It's a critique on how we're like divvying up our money to pay for all these fucking buffoons. Like
He says, you know what, I think I have the flu. They get $30 for administering the flu shot. How many people do you think a doctor has to see in a day?
Overrating healthcare tie into like their single payer system.
Because if they opened up the private tier, they could get the people that can afford out of the regular tier that they have now, and it would allow greater access to the existing resources, and it would allow people with money who are in a position to pay to go and say, you know what, I'm going to pay this doctor. He might charge me 5 times more, but I don't.
So then it's not a fundamental flaw of the single payer system.
One more thing. Let my Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, then if that's your criticism, then that's not an inherent problem with the single payer system, right? That's basically just saying that you want a single payer system that allows for a private market as well. Like you can make that critique. So
no,
it's not a flaw with the single payer system.
I understand what you're saying, but we can't call it a single payer system if we have a private tier.
So then there's a private tier for fucking dental care, buddy. Like I'm so confused. I don't understand. So Canadian system is a single payer system or not a single payer system? Like I
don't think that is true. It's
single
like
payer,
a single payer system.
No, it's
There's
not.
like 4 different types of single payer system.
Like that's not part of dental stuff. It's not part of the single payer. Any kind of eye care for the most part is not single payer. It's getting there, right? And people.
They specifically didn't want it there because of the added costs.
No, Kathleen Wynne literally a couple years ago was advocating for dental being added to this.
Yeah, and Ontario's in a big mess, isn't it?
Well, because Doug Ford's in there, yeah.
No, this was before. They
That's
voted her
what
off.
it was,
She
actually.
ran the province into the ground. Kathleen Wynne screwed up
so fucking good.
everything, including healthcare. The whole reason
And now Doug
healthcare
Ford's
is
in there, just cut
viable.
everything.
The whole reason healthcare is viable in Canada is because of the experiment that happened in Ontario. If that went under, GG. There's no more single payer in Canada.
So I don't know.
It's like,
It just never fucking like talks about anything like substantive. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. That. Okay, healthcare. What did you just call it? Okay, I don't care. Ran it into the ground, like as if, like I don't even know what he means by ran it into the ground, because we're better off than Alberta still. I what? I'm really confused. Like none of it was a critique.
Ontario alone is like 40% of the healthcare.
Yeah.
Wait 6 weeks for an MRI.
Oh, except for the fact that.
Oh, the MRI thing. That's right.
Well, so then
I
they
mean,
get
do you think
increased
it's fair
taxes.
that, you think it's fair that you have to wait 6 weeks for an MRI?
Oh, except for the fact that well, this is anecdotal, I guess. But
No, I just like Fraser report. Look at yourself.
Yeah, but I can find countless examples of people just waiting like 3.
So the whole like waiting, Pickett is only a motherfucker like for 6 hours. Okay, but so like I did this. I looked into why the fuck are the MRIs so long? MRI wait times. Okay. Radiologist wait times. This one just I think tells me about it. So he's totally ignoring that if it's mandatory. Like if you need the MRI, you get it. You get the MRI like that day. Like that's the whole point of the single payer system is so that if you need something, you get it. Okay? If you don't need it, you wait because you don't need it. So maximum wait time. Wait, what? Oh, FP1 or whatever. Like so immediate. Like you get it immediately. If you need it, you get it immediately. If you have to wait, you wait. So the wait times for like unnecessary things is longer. That doesn't really matter. But let's see why those are longer in the first place. So this one just kind of tells you about like why it's longer, but like immediate, blah blah blah. CT, MRI scans, like MRI scans are like harder to do, so they're longer, stuff like that. So you got that. Okay. So now let's check. Is this the one? How long does it take to get an MRI in Toronto? Oh, this is just another one telling us how long it takes. Yeah, sure. Okay. So now I was like, okay, well, why does it take so long to get it? Kind of like a voluntarily given MRI. I was like, okay. Is this it here? I don't know which one's the article. Let's open them all. Okay, wait times in diagnostic images. This is just for CT scans, MRI scans. Scanning time 15 to 60 minutes. Wait, does it do? Comfort. Yeah, okay. That's just explaining how to. Fuck. Ugh, painful. Okay, I'm sure fucking eye walker. If you would let me. I've blocked 100,000 ads. Ah, you fuck. Okay. Value for money finally gets it basically just goes into to explain that this suggests so on the last point that offers opportunity to increase the value for money in public health care. A recent study in Alberta and Ontario, researchers found more than half of MRIs on patients with low back pain were inappropriate or of questionable value. This suggests about 13,000 lower back MRIs conducted in Alberta annually are not necessary. My research at Acute Knee Injury Clinic in Calgary suggests that similar waste occurs in diagnosing knee injuries. This work found almost 2/3 of the knee injured patients who had an MRI could have been accurately diagnosed using other more readily available and significantly less expensive techniques and tools. Provincially, this translates to about 4,000 knee MRIs annually. If these two are alone, in these two areas alone, there may be 17,000 unnecessary MRIs every year in Alberta, representing a cost of $15 million. So, like, basically, the system, basically that a lot of the times, an MRI is completely unnecessary. So, this other article over here, the Global News, BC government promises to cut MRI wait times. It basically just goes on to explain that the government is aiming to conduct 37,000 more exams across the province by the end of March 2019. So, in other words, train more doctors to use MRI machines properly, and then train doctors so that they don't use MRI machines when they don't need to. So the province is aiming to conduct 225,000 MRI exams in the 2018-2019 fiscal year, up from 188,000 this past fiscal year. Currently, 50% of the patients are waiting more than 41 days for an MRI, and 10% of patients wait more than 199 days. Wait times are simply too long in BC, in part due to volumes that are 35% to 40% less than other provinces. Okay. Said Dix, our plan is to maximize resources and employ best practices in the public system to reduce wait times and improve care. So, like, there's no access to this fucking shit because, well, a lot of it's fucking totally useless. And again, just completely ignoring that if you need it, you get it.
Okay, you know what? I can leave this phone call and I can go into CT scan and an MRI within a few hours.
Yeah, at what cost, though? At what cost, though?
It's the same cost that the Canadian taxpayers are billed.
How much? So you just use CT scan. The cost of a brain CT scan is $1,200. Let's see. Anything with bone head, $375. Whoops. That sucks. So a brain CT scan in the United States costs $1,200. A head CT scan in Canada costs $375. That sucks. If only. Oh, what's an MRI scan? On average, an MRI scan costs $875. Is this for Canada? Yes. Okay. US? Oof. The average cost of an MRI scan in the US is $2,611. Oof. Oof. $875 to... Like, let's just bring this up on screen. $2,611 on average in the United States. Let's read that. When it comes to pricing hospital procedure, MRIs come to mind. Sure enough, according to the recently released Medicare pricing data analyzed by NerdWallet Health, the average cost of an MRI in the U.S. is $2,611. Canada. While this means a near and immediate appointment, it also means you have to shoulder the cost. It's no small amount. An MRI scan costs around $700 in Vancouver and about $875 in Victoria. While this cost may be acceptable for some, it's pretty expensive for others. Oh, this is even in the private sector in BC. So, like, you're just wrong, but okay. And the CT scans are, like, even cheaper. So, all right. Good meme.
I don't think that's necessarily true at all.
What do you
If the
think?
private sector, okay, so if the private sector
I spend out my
the same amount of, so if the private sector came in,
Canada is the only country in the world that refuses to open up the private tier, and it's harming Canadians.
Yeah,
Did you hear about the guy
So he just fucking like shifted the goalpost, and now he's moving to like the guy that died in the
who died in the ER 72?
Okay, so ER death. Yeah, ignored to death. Brian Sinclair's death caused by racism and yeah, so this is what happened. The fucking Brian Sinclair was 45 when he died. Like, I read about this. I remember reading about this. He literally died because the fucking doctors and the service people at the hospital were extremely fucking racist. Where's the I was one of 5 members by saying a working group which released an interim report and recommendations money nearly 9 years to the day after this death of his namesake. Medicine and health always see itself as benevolent and caring for people. It's not true for many indigenous people. It's a violent encounters. And like it was just because of like the problem we have with our indigenous population. Like he was literally just ignored. It's not, again, not a critique of the single payer system.
2 hours and he wasn't even triaged.
Yeah, but I thought your initial claim was...
Let one of those people go back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think you've illustrated how that's a criticism of a single-payer system at all.
Yeah.
Nobody else can pay for it, and if they can't pay for doctors, how are you going to improve healthcare? When you have less resources available, then there's a scarcity problem. Then what? It means your wait times go up.
Okay, so maybe I have a question. Are you saying that it's
Canada has the
are you
worst
saying that it's
healthcare.
currently too?
Well, except for
There's
the
not. Are you saying that there's not enough money?
It's way worse than the US.
Excuse me. Is the thing that
Except for the fact that people are literally dying in your fucking... Oh my god. It's way worse than the US. Well, okay, maybe, but you have to be able to afford what's going on in the United States. And a large portion of your population can't afford it, so therefore it's worse. Whoa. Like, of course, the American healthcare system might be the best to a millionaire because he literally never has to worry about any kind of cost coming to him. Like, what do you fucking mean?
you're saying, Ramsey, that there's not enough tax money going into the Canadian system to provide an actual adequate healthcare system coming back out of it?
Ottawa doesn't want to spend the money because they can't.
Okay, I don't know enough.
It's so weird. He gets asked this question. He's like, Ottawa doesn't want to spend the money because they can't. It's like,
About these things, and I
okay.
really wish that I did more on this topic, but I did. So I wanted to come back to. Does anybody want to close on this one or say anything? I was just going to try to go to pharmaceutical costs and a couple things that were mentioned about that part.
Sure, yeah, we can get off my Canadian fucking health system, sure.
Okay, so all right, people are saying a lot in chat. Thank you everybody for coming in here for a little while. So a couple of the stats that I wanted to read just about some things that are happening in the U.S. healthcare system. I believe it's 44% of Americans didn't go to the hospital because they were afraid of the financial cost of going there or the diagnosis they were going to receive. And then these are other ones that I'm going to be reading off of that I have here. 45%.
Okay, what else happened?
36 other developed nations in infant mortality. Let's see.
Or it's like a stupid high price because they're allowed to.
I agree that that is happening right now. Cynthia, did you want to say anything? I'm just going to go around. So.
What did I say?
It's like kind of hard to do that.
But that's not
It
the
seems
problem.
like
And hang on,
Well,
we're
it seems
just going to go around. So go
like
ahead.
the United States develops the drug and then they sell it to other countries at a cheaper price, but then they sell it to their own United States citizens for like a stupid high price because they're allowed to.
I agree that that is happening right now. Cynthia, did you want to say anything? I'm just going to go around the circle here.
I mean, no, I'm good. I think, well, my views are pretty basic in that I think that, I think over the course of this conversation, like, I've been more won over to a single payer system, where there would be a actual privatized market, but everyone would have to pay into the single payer system, like, regardless of whether or not they're on that.
So,
I'm just going to keep going. Sorry,
Well,
I don't know
touched
what
a little
they
bit. I touched a little bit on this earlier when I said that, like, I think allowing the government to, like, first of all, like, negotiate drug prices with these companies would be great because, like, under our current system, like,
Oh yeah, that's what he tried to mention. He tried to mention that you get fined for opting out of the Canadian healthcare system. Like, well, duh. Like, it's a. Like, sure, I could agree with Cynthia here. Like, maybe you can institute a private sector, as long as you're still paying into the public sector, which is, sure. Because, like, well, you do that with dental care in Canada and stuff like that, right?
I think under, like, Part D of, like,
You would like obviously all your citizens would have to pay into a single payer system or some sort of like publicly funded system. Like, duh, you can't just opt out of that. You can't just opt out of your fucking taxes. Like, oh, I don't pay this tax. Like, what?
or Medicaid or whatever, we're not even allowed to do so. And like Ramsey said, like a huge portion of our spending as far as healthcare costs is pharmaceutical costs. So.
A comrade.
Okay, Ramsey, this would mean that you are going to be up, and then Comrade. This is a new person joining everybody. This is Comrade Keck. He's currently on mute right now. Nice to see you. Ramsey, if you'd like to say anything, then we are going to let Brent go, and then Comrade Keck, you are going to be up.
Oh yeah, so like it's absolutely crazy, and this is a breakdown of like what a world economy gives back to the world. Like when you look at the World Health Organization and the World Trade Organization, when America produces a drug, there's only I can't remember how long the patent is within the states, but there's only a set period of time that they're allowed to recover that kind of money at
I
home.
think it's 10 years. I think.
It's 10 years, right? But overseas, right, they want to recover the costs, but they're not allowed to because of what the WHO and the WTO mandate, right? So Americans, unfortunately, are stuck with the bill, and that has nothing to do with the fact that capitalists wants to come back and say, you know, screw you, you're going to pay extra for it. I mean, when you develop
Except for it does.
a life-saving drug, right, for example, those research costs are extremely expensive, right?
Yeah, so you put it on the government so that we all pay into the tax system, so that we all fund it as a society, because it benefits all of society. Right now, what's happening is that nobody wants to develop drugs because, like, there's no, like, the only incentive to developing drugs in the United States right now is profit. So obviously, when you get to the market, when you're trying to sell it, you have 10 years to sell your drug to as many people as humanly fucking possible. You're going to try to gouge out as much money as fucking possible. And the American government allows you to do that because, well, they're like, oh, well, capitalism, boys. Like, what?
If the world wants to leverage it, if the world wants to leverage it, why do they not have to pay a bigger share even though they consume at a similar rate? That's
Because they've bargained with them and said like, yeah, fuck off. We're paying this. If not, you're just missing out on the entire fucking population of our
that's the
country.
question I have. Because
Brento?
Behind it. Yeah, sorry.
Brento,
Oh,
we'll get to everybody rebutting.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I guess it sounds like the question is like, would people who advocate for socialized healthcare accept fewer innovations like that as part of?
Is better at creating creative solutions to problems. Like I think if you look at like the sort of technology that we have today, like the technology that's used in your cell phone and a lot of like your MRI and stuff like this was all like technology that was basically created through government subsidy, right? And government pressure. So like a lot of these sort of
If people are supposed to be good people, then they should do it.
there's still a sort of market there.
Does that in some small way? Sorry, I was going to ask. Does that in some small way validate the military budget?
In what sense?
Well, it's too
In
much.
the sense, gotcha. In the sense that many innovations that we use that are government funded come from the military, which most times I think a lot of times are in times of war, though,
I
right?
don't think I'm using that new F-15 jet they just came out with. I don't think so.
F-15's old, man.
Before we get it was funded by American money. Why it started, it was directly funded. So I mean, like in speaking about that one, that takes me down to part of my conspiracy state of thinking that Rockefeller did some dirty things with his money that still affects kind of how a lot of the systems are set up in the United States.
every billionaire does dirty things with their money.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that
I mean,
I
it's
do think that he was.
capitalism.
I think that he was the first that did what philanthropy can do in using a bunch of money that you have, donating, requiring the ability to put people that you like onto their boards, and then influencing the actual corporations, even to a greater extent than he would have been able to with being just a stockholder or some other.
Well, Andrew Carnegie did it as well too.
Well,
right?
he's one of the people that was with Bayer.
Yeah,
It was really those two that did it all
he
back
caused
then.
problems and had a shitty PR image, and he had to figure out how to fix that, right?
Citizens United specifically?
Can I
Yeah,
just
just
say,
overturn it completely. Have it go exactly the other way.
Well, yeah, I think the idea that money is absolutely ridiculous. Like the idea that like somebody with more capital should have some sort of more of a
Inherent advantage.
yeah, like their vote, honestly, like their cash speaks louder than their vote, right? And allowing like this sort of made-up elections just basically provides a profit incentive for these people that are supposed to be representing the interests of their constituents.
All right, I don't think there's much else I talk about.
Comrade, do you have anything you'd like to add in here?
A lot of those guys that post like campaign reports like we raised so many million in the quarter, they just transferred it from their last election cycle.
Not Bernie
Well, that's true
Sanders.
for Beto. I think
That's why I said a lot and not everyone.
Okay, sorry.
But I guarantee you, overturning Citizens United for Sanders can never run for president. He can't afford it.
He did it. He raised $6 million off of small donations.
well,
Under
the
super PACs. Under super PACs, right? So if we overturn Citizens United, we go back to PACs, right?
not necessarily.
Okay,
No,
well,
no,
well,
no,
well,
no,
well,
no,
well,
this is not true.
He literally
We don't
got
go back to the system we had before. What we can do is we can.
So you're
go
advocating
public-
replacement.
I wanna hear
Let
what's
my
the
voice finish. Sorry.
Yeah, what you can do is you can have publicly funded elections where every politician's allocated like a certain amount of campaign funds that they're able to.
Okay, I do have a question about that one. If we did the complete public, because I don't take really good positions, I just ask questions. If we allowed the public campaign funding, would that mean that I can just decide to run for candidacy and I get the ability to tap into this public?
I think I did well on that one. That one.
Recently,
Because Canada like overturned. Like, you can't even profit off of commercials anymore if you're running for Canadian Prime Minister.
And thing. I think that like us as individuals do have a certain level of responsibility of being educated enough to actually speak on topics that
flubbing numbers and showing like stats incorrectly. Really? Did you know that most of the claims that were made in those studies did come true? Like the fact that these studies predicted more frequent storms and stuff like that.
Most is quite a large exaggeration on your part. You're probably thinking maybe one or two, but you said most. Most of them didn't come true.
Okay, well that's just a platitude. That doesn't really mean anything. If you want to substantiate that with like citing studies that were faulty or whatever, then maybe I'd listen to you. But I mean, I already know. That's just a platitude. Really? Did you know that most of the claims that were made in those studies did come true? Like the fact that these studies predicted more frequent storms and stuff like that.
Most is quite a large exaggeration on your part. You're probably thinking maybe one or two, but you said most.
Oh, like fucking hell. Oh yeah.
Citing studies that were faulty or whatever, then maybe I'd listen to you. But I mean, I already know. I mean, I don't want to be facetious. But I already know.
The problem is,
seems like we've
you need
all
proof because you're too lazy to fucking look it up yourself.
Wait,
That's
no,
it.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's he's like making the claim that like climate change isn't real, and then like you.
Rather
Wait, he's not the one- wait, he's
than
not the
let
one
things
that
end
has
this way,
to
rather let's just we have reached.
That part was fucking great. When AOC says the world's gonna end in 12 years, yeah, that's a NASA-backed study, and then UN confirmed. Or sorry, NASA made study, UN backed. What?
Go ahead, Brento.
Yeah. Well, I had a question. It was about something we were talking about in the past, right? And you guys said something. You were talking about. I'm going back to this, but we're gonna jump off. You were talking about Ben Shapiro, and you said he's bad for political discourse. That's I kind of see.
You just talked about a million things about.
like debating on even doing, right? Is even going to another one because I know if I
So I think that's what we kind of all have to be cautious on.
I think that's definitely a factor. That's definitely there's truth in that.
So I think we're good.
I think there is something.
I think I did well on everything else, so you can just go watch it. I just had that fucking problem with the fucking healthcare one and the other whatever the other thing we fucking talked about. Oh my fucking god, it was so fucking weird. Oh yeah, the economy thing, like that, like your debt to GDP is not like a huge thing, and then like we flip flop back and forth onto well, if we just make these things an asset, then then our debt to GDP drops. So it's like okay, well, is it still a problem? It's obviously a cultural. What is? Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. The cultural Marxist plot designed to aid the greater replacement. The greater replacement of what? Of the voting system, I think. That's like what I skipped over, right? Oh my god, why is my fucking Discord broken? Is everything breaking now? Great. Alright, that was weird. Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, my entire Discord just like shattered in front of my eyes. Okay, oh yeah, no, yeah. There was something about climate change back there too, and like we were talking about. So what happened is like we talked about fucking, I think he goes on. Let's see if we can find it.
That's the way to get ads. That's the way to get revenue. So I think that's
Well,
something we kind of all have to be cautious on.
I think that's definitely a factor. That's definitely there's truth in that, but there's also I think it's willing to take note that you can be you can be genuine and like actually like be like I don't know, just like have a spine, right? Like and actually be like present your opinion genuinely and still gain like a sort of like a fan base. Like you could look at like the sort of like RedTube movement that the left has kind of been doing on YouTube, where you have figures like Three Arrows and Philosophy Tube and ContraPoints and names like these. They're all putting out this really way to do it without. Oh, it does.
Yeah, I'm feeling tired. I feel like don't talk politics with me between everyone. Philosophy.
There's something like that. So a lot of times the people that are in
He says something about like how.
Basically, pretty much in agreement with most of what people say here. If you can just like, it's hard obviously because everyone has like internal biases about stuff, but to try to be as open-minded as possible that you may be wrong in what you're talking about, and to try not to like when we started going in like a global market and whatnot. So trying to keep quiet, that like not like push or just say dumb things is like an important thing that we need to do 10 times bigger.
and the short YouTube bid or no, just or age. We could say they're level head.
I wasn't trying to go back to Ben Shapiro. I was trying to talk.
Try.
I kind of see him as like an analog. He bring up a government statistic backed by NASA and the UN. He's like, oh, whatever. Like,
And said like, hey, we have 12 to 30 years to deal with this, and then AOC went with the lower number of 12 because why not? And then here we are with the Green New Deal. And the Green New Deal also was a resolution and not law. Just deal with it.
Okay, so here we go.
And in my only opinion, I think that might be something that's happening with the Green New Deal.
She says we have 12 years to live.
There we go.
Do
Okay.
you think that AOC is saying things to actively deceive, mislead, decept, or otherwise misinform?
Yeah, she says we have 12 years to live.
That's a NASA reported study and UN backed.
Sure.
No,
UN, wow.
Oh my
the
God.
claim, can I just rebuttal that real quick? The claim was that we only have 12 years to survive.
Like, see what he did there? It's like it's a NASA fucking it's this NASA made stat UN backed. Yeah, sure. What do you mean? Yeah, sure.
It wasn't. The claim wasn't that all of humanity is going to end after 12 years, right? The argument was that we're going to face extreme humanitarian crises if we don't address this issue within like so many X years, whether it be 12 or whatever. If you can find me a quote that she said like, oh, all of humanity is going to be wiped out in 12 years, then maybe I'd listen to you. But that's.
I know it's ignoring that it's not even 12 years to live. It's 12 years to stop. What he said. Fuck Jesus Christ. Like serious problems to the earth. Yeah, or like even 12 years to reverse the change. It's not like we're gonna die in 12 years. Oh my god! And then we go on like talk to him about like how like it's a NASA back study. He's like, yeah, sure, yeah, maybe. What the fuck do you mean maybe?
It doesn't really matter because NASA came out and said like, hey, we have 12 to 30 years to deal with this, and then AOC went with the lower number of 12 because why not? And then here we are with the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal also was a resolution and not law. It was
Let's
a
keep things calm. Go ahead, comrade.
Well, I think what mine was brought up was just like even a semantics issue. I take greater issue with him using government statistics, and then when we bring up a government statistic backed by NASA and the UN, he's like, oh, whatever. Like that's
Go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Twitter feed, and she says the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate.
Yeah, and that comes from a NASA study which told us that it will happen in 12 to 30 years, and that study from NASA was backed by the UN.
Were you alive in 1988?
No.
Oh, this guy Ramsey. Ramsey's the one fucking talking right now, like a fucking big buffoon. Hold on, let me see. AOC. I love this, like when somebody might say something wrong. Like, let's see. Climate change is an existential threat if we ignore it, but we can opportunity pursue a Green New Deal. I support the latter. So nothing about us dying. The far right moves to drum up fear and resistance to immigration, but But have you ever noticed that they never talk about what's causing people to flee their homes in the first place? Perhaps it's because they've been forced to confront one major factor fueling global immigration: climate change. Still nothing about death. Okay, AOC says. Yes, that's exactly what's going on. So the world will end in 12 years. Let's see. Fuck off. Oh my fucking god. I hate when websites are like, can you like turn off your ad blocker? Yeah. Well, you suck my nutsack. She said recently that if we don't address the climate change aggressively right now, the world will end in 12 years. Okay, was there a quote on that? Doesn't really matter. Oh. But the carbon emissions aggressively by 2030. Is this the quote? We need to start now to cut carbon emissions aggressively, or by 2030 we may have passed the tipping point beyond which the planet, yes, you people living on it, is in for possible permanent hurt. So let's quibble that AOC said the world will end, and instead the world is human current species. You know, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, again, like it doesn't really matter if she said the world will end, because it's like so close to the truth that it doesn't fucking matter. Like I hate this so much. Oh, what the fuck's his name? God damn it. Who the fuck was the guy I like predicted in the first place? That fucking moron. Invented the internet, dude. Holy fuck. Al Gore. Jesus. It's like, oh, Al Gore was like wrong on a couple of things he said. Other things like actually came true. Climate change is a hoax in its entirety. It's like, what the fuck? What? What do you mean? Like someone said one wrong thing, therefore the entirety of climate change is wrong.
I would like to say that I would much rather be wrong. I would much rather be wrong on the prognostications about climate change than be correct about them. But I do not think that some of these scientists are wrong. And I do
Yeah. I know, 100%. They don't want her. Well, she's like too far left for them, whatever. Like Hillary didn't really fall under the same thing. Hillary was just like Hillary wasn't saying many smart things, so they just kind of blasted things off of her. AOC actually says smart things, so they just turned to like, she said this one thing wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like, in the 70s, they came up with studies that said we'd be fine, and look, we're fine, boys. Okay.
You guys come on now.
No, wait, so come on. All right,
so come on, what? I answered your question, and now you're like, come on.
No, you're making
NASA,
these
NASA backed it.
statements.
NASA
Guys, we're not going to solve the global warming thing.
You know why NASA does this, right? This is so they secure funding. They've done this for 60 years.
Yeah. So, see what he says there? This is how they've secured funding. You're right, dude. NASA's after that, like, fucking smallest pay grade ever, dude. You know that fucking those guys working on the that doctor who like came up with a study got paid like $15,000 in grants. Oh my god, dude, amazing. If only there was a better way to make money. Well, it's not lefty. If you mean like I'm not socialist, I'm not like a lefty. I'm like sock dem, but yeah, sure, it's like more left. Why are your names so fucking extremely similar? What is happening? But yeah, like, oh my god, like this, the hyper focus on like, oh, she said like one thing wrong? Oh my god. Yeah, no, I know. They'll call anybody dumb that they don't agree with. And like then there's like these fucking people like saying like this is how NASA secures funding. Do you know how much money people get paid when they like the Koch brothers pay people to like debunk climate change? Way more than any scientist gets when he fucking provides evidence for climate change. Yeah, I know. It's just like, okay. It's like, excuse my sarcasm, and it's like, okay, excuse me. I'm so confused. It's so weird. Like, oh yeah, what is it? Like NASA's like less than 1% of the fucking total budget for the United States.
The global warming thing.
You know why NASA does this, right? This is so they secure funding. They've done this for 60 years.
It's all conspiracy for funding.
Oh, this is a conspiracy.
No, alright, so can I follow this real quick, Ron? So
Just a second.
you made a claim that in the 90s scientists were flubbing stats or being disingenuous with stats to mislead the public. Is that
Yeah, they were.
really? Did you know that most of the claims that were made in those studies did come true? Like the fact that these studies predicted more frequent. Like,
And then he goes, most is it thinking, fuck. Yeah, I hate it. I can't. We're closing this. I'm bringing it up. Oh, it's so fucking. Oh. I know the money's in denying climate change. Whenever you get deny climate change, like the Koch brothers will give you the $16 bajillion. Like, what? I know, like that sweet, sweet grant money, as if it's like. Oh my god! Like NASA budget. Yeah, I do watch Destiny. Are you here to call me a Destiny clone? I've been called that too many times recently. Yeah. Well, I try my best. I want to. I fucking love like talking to people who disagree with me. It's fucking hilarious. It's so good. It's so fucking good. $21 billion for the NASA budget. That's it's 0.49% of the 4.4 trillion, so less than 1%. Yeah, that's sweet money. That's why I wear hats now. I never want to look like Sargon ever again. No, fuck that guy. Fuck Sargon. He's so stupid. Yeah. Imagine trying to look for. Imagine being a NASA doctor. Like, oh fuck, how do we? You know what? I could deny climate change and get $100,000, but I could buy into the system and get like $15,000. Yeah. Oh, yeah, isn't he running for that UKIP thing? Oh god. I don't know. That's God, I hate that so much. That's so fucking cringy. That is so insanely fucking cringy, dude. Oh my god. Oof. Yeah. Oh yeah, him and Count Dankula. Oh, Count Dankula is so infuriating. Oh, I literally unironically watch the Count Dankula debate with Destiny for like entertainment purposes. I will just like turn it on and listen to it, and I'll just skip to the part where he goes like, "I'd rather watch the videos than look at the statistics. I think that's a better representation of what's actually going on." Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, sure, like him being thrown in jail, whatever, for like teaching his dog to Nazi salute is like kind of fucked up. But now he's just a real idiot. So. Oh my god, dude! Like, but yeah, you know what? If you guys like, if you like me, A, press that follow button. B, go check out that video that I was like reviewing the roundtable I took part in on my YouTube channel. I think it's properly linked down below. I'm pretty sure I've got that link properly down there. Yeah, fuck. What else we got to talk about? Thanks for the follow right there, buddy. Why is the notification not coming up? There we go. That was super, super uber delayed, but here we go. Thanks for the follow, buddy. I appreciate you.